Africa optimistic as its 10th geothermal conference ends. EAC Police Chiefs meet reinforces transnational teamwork.
Ourselves and develop harmonized strategies to fight the contemporary crimes in the region.
Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Nasa Kingo. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The Deputy Permanent Secretary, Minister of Energy, James Mataragio, says the 10th African Rift Geothermal Conference has come up with various resolutions, which include establishment of strong geothermal institutions across African countries, facilitating regular discussions on issues related to geothermal, and the adoption of advanced technology in geothermal exploration. Speaking at the climax of the conference, Mataragio have insisted that discussions held will further unlock Africa's geothermal energy potentials.
ILO 10 has successfully made its objective of bringing together energy stakeholders to strategize on accelerating geothermal development across Africa. Looking ahead, we are committed to the following key actions. First, focus on both power generation and the direct heat application to diversify the use of geothermal energy. Second, strengthen and establish dedicated geothermal institutions, especially in countries that lack such structures. Third, facilitate regular dialogue between developers and the financiers to de-risk geothermal projects and attract investments. Fourth, adopt advanced technology, including AI, to solve data management and analysis challenges in exploration.
On the other hand, the head of United Nations Development Program commends the commitment and political will shown by Tanzanian government in the geothermal development, while the president of the Geothermal Association calls on more African countries and organizations to join the association.
As an African and geothermal professional, I really felt so proud of you and this country to see such kind of commitment. This actually, for all of us, be a very high expectations from this government, and we will continue helping, supporting in technical aspects and beyond.
We are ready to take up the huge mandate that has been bestowed on us, and we want to assure you that we have a well set up organization structure. From next week, we'll be inviting you to register online, both corporates and individuals, so that we can all start to move together. We intend to leverage on the African experts in the geothermal space while collaborating with our international partners.
More than 600 people have attended the 5-day African Rift Geothermal Conference, and the next conference is expected to be held in 2026 in the Comoro Islands. Remaining in Dar es Salaam, the East Africa Community EAC Chiefs of Police are meeting in Dar es Salaam, targeting to forge a common strategy to deal with transnational organized crimes, terrorism, human and drug trafficking, inter-communities violence, and security tensions across the region, and increase coordination. The 8th meeting of the EAC Chiefs of Police brings together the region's directors of Criminal Investigations Directorate, Immigrations and Police, and the Registrar of Motor Vehicles, targeting to evaluate strategies on tackling emerging and increasing peace and security threats in the region.
We in the community or in our group here, we are taking the right path. For this cooperation we are showing, and for this commitment we are also showing towards our region.
The emerging and increasing peace and security threats in the region, ranging from transnational organized crimes, cross-border crimes, terrorism, human and drug trafficking, inter-community violence, pockets of political and security tensions in various places, just to mention but a few, pose a threat to social, political, and economic development in East Africa. Hence, the need to mobilize ourselves and develop harmonized strategies to fight the contemporary crimes in the region.
During the 35th African Union Summit held in Lusaka, Zambia, EAC was described as the most integrated regional community in the region. This achievement is not embedded on a vacuum, but an achievement in the customs union, common market, and money market, whose foundation is the peace and security being enjoyed in the region. Therefore, as chiefs of police and other security actors, we have a great role to play. However, the region is not devoid of peace and security challenges, ranging from terrorism, transnational organized crimes, cross-border crimes, and other intercommunal conflicts.
The four-day conference aimed to explore the ever-changing migration dynamics and landscape, focusing on creating an integrated migration management system and strengthen peace and stability. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Professor Caroline Nombo, says China, being a leading source of foreign investment in Tanzania, presents numerous opportunities through its language and has been opening doors economically, locally and internationally. Here are more details.
Speaking at the 6th Chinese Ambassador Awards held in Dar es Salaam, she insisted the Tanzanian government is fully committed to cooperate with the Chinese government in the education sector, and so far both countries have been mutually benefiting from various initiatives.
So we know those who have learned the Chinese language are already working as interpreters, as translators, but also we have Chinese lecturers and facilitators. You all know, following the revisions of our curriculum at all levels, Chinese has become one of the international language which is being taught in our school. To date, we have got about 20 schools, primary schools, teaching Chinese as an international language. So we are building up this base from very early age. We don't want our students to go and learn Chinese at university level. We want them to start learning it from very early age. And our new curriculum is directing us to do so, and we have started doing it vigorously.
On the other hand, the Chinese ambassador to Tanzania, Chen Mingyang, presented 132 awards to Tanzanian students in various levels of education, while reiterating that thousands of graduates of Chinese language have been instrumental for fostering stronger ties between African countries and China.
30 universities had established Chinese language majors or Chinese language teaching majors. Tens of thousands of graduates have become the backbone of the development of African countries and the bridge for China-African friendship. The local Chinese teachers and students are contributing to China-Tanzania friendship, China-African friendship, and helping more Tanzanians and African friends to be able to experience and explore the world.
The executive director, as a result of the previous visit of President Samia Suluhu Hassan in South Korea, he made that remarks during the Tanzania-Korea Investors Joint Meeting held in Dar es Salaam, insisting that conducive investment environment in Tanzania has been the cornerstone to attract more investors to the nation.
And what we have done here as TIC today is just the continuation of the efforts that Her Excellency have started. So we have essentially conducted a hybrid event, which has connected 50 businesses and investors from Tanzania with their counterparts in Korea. So we have a seminar here today with 50 enterprises here based in Dar es Salaam, but even in Seoul, there are also other 50 enterprises in a room, and they will be connecting with the Tanzanian enterprises, mainly in 4 sectors. So these are engineering companies which are interested in water projects, but there are also investors in mining, oil and gas, as well as energy and energy infrastructure. So our expectation is that Tanzanian companies will connect with Korean companies and do business or invest for the benefit of Tanzanian people, also the people of Korea.
And the outcome of the summit was very promising and fruitful. They have agreed to launch negotiations for an economic partnership agreement, which is the first for Korea to start with an African country, and it will set the groundwork.
The UK High Commissioner to Tanzania, Maria Nyang, calls on Tanzanians to take advantage of education opportunities that our country continued to offer in honor of historical ties dating back to the founding father, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere's time, whom she says did put strong focus on education. Speaking to TBC News, the High Commissioner says Mwalimu Nyerere, who was among the first East Africans to study in the United Kingdom, remains the most notable alumni at the University of Edinburgh, leaving Nyerere Postgraduate Scholarship Program, which continues to provide funding to Tanzanian learners.
So he left Edinburgh and set up a scholarship program to help future Tanzanian students follow in his footsteps. And the University of Edinburgh has also set up its own scholarship scheme to support Tanzanians to go across to Scotland and also study master's programs. So 2 very strong legacy programs to enable people to have those strong connections to that institute, an institute that Julius Nyerere kept up very close links with. And in fact, as well as visiting many times, he even went back to teach near the end of his life in 1990.
The High Commissioner adds that University of Edinburgh is one of the few universities in the UK that offers courses in Kiswahili, and her embassy offers 2 more scholarship programs that Tanzanians can take advantage of.
The University of Edinburgh, I think as part of Nyerere's legacy, offers courses in Swahili, which is one of the few institutions in the UK to do that. So that is part of a sort of commitment and set of programs going forward. But we also, as the British government, offer our own scholarship schemes, and there are 2 here that people can benefit from in Tanzania. So that's our Chevening program, which provides support packages for students to study in the UK in a fully paid and supported program at a range of institutions, and we support a range of subjects. And we also support the Commonwealth Scholarship Scheme, which I know many Tanzanians over the years, several hundred in fact, have benefited from too.
The Julius Nyerere Scholarship was set up in 2009 in the memory of Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. Nyerere received the scholarship in 1949 to attend the University of Edinburgh, where he obtained a Master's of Arts degree. Belgium Development Agency Enabel has signed a grant agreement worth 25 million euros with the Tanzania Institute of Education, TIE, and the University of Dar es Salaam School of Education to empower girls in the Kigoma region. Here are more details.
During the signing ceremony, TIE Acting Director General Moses Ntukula emphasized that the agreement includes initiatives such as Wezesha Binti, Include Cities, and the Regional Teachers Initiatives for the Africa RTIA strategy to enhance access to equality education, while Dean of Students of Education, Dr. Eugenia Kafnab, has reassured full implementation of the project.
Because the interest fees are charged when the guests come. For example, the Germany are the first tourists to visit in large numbers. They visit because of the history, as I explained it. There are the graves here. They can come to do the pilgrimage, But the Ride the Festivals and the Loyal Tour films has been catalysts for the increase of the tourists, both locals and foreigners, especially school institutions. They've been able to gain awareness to a large extent, and they contributed to a large extent. That is why tourists have increased from 18,000 to 36,000 from the year of 2022.
The program is supporting the youth in the Kigoma region, of which one learning pathway is lower secondary education. We know that investing in teachers and school leaders is key to improve the quality of lower secondary education. And that is why we are honored to partner both with Tanzanian Institute of Education and the School of Education, University of Dar es Salaam, to implement a continuous professional development trajectory for the teachers and non-teaching staff of 25 lower secondary schools in the Kigoma region.
The Enabo Country Director, Kionerd Jokinti, emphasized on the agency's commitment to transformative program focusing on innovation and digital transformation in education by entertaining digital tools and inspiring creative teaching methods.
In Kigoma, actually, we are focusing on girls and young women, and we are working on the obstacles that make girls and young women drop out of school. By working in the efforts to keep them in school, they will be better prepared and better armed also to have access to further education. They would be able to go for technical training, but even for the normal regular secondary, and hopefully for those who aspire university education.
The collaboration with TIE and University of Dar es Salaam School of Education expects to provide continuous professional development and develop teaching materials for teachers and non-teaching staffs across 25 secondary schools.
The United Nations Development Programme, in collaboration with the Institute of Rural Development Planning, ARDP, has held a flag-off ceremony of equipment and materials for women and youth groups in the regions of Bagamoyo, Tanga, Unguja, and Pemba under the UNDP Blue Economy Bahari Maisha project. The ceremony was held in Dar es Salaam, targeting to enhancing seafood farming activities, sustainable ocean resource management, and economic empowerment, witnessing Tanzanian government in collaboration with UNDP and IRDP distributing seafood farming equipment to youth and women.
For the first time, we've seen how the people of the coastal region in Tanga, Bagamoyo, Unguja and Pemba have started getting full support, not only in fisheries, but also in other marine resources, and under the sponsorship of UNDP, but through the research which was done by the Institute of Planning and Rural Development, Mwanza campus, where they've prepared a project proposal and they came up with the Bahari Maisha.
UNDP will continue to catalyze public-private investments in rural economy sector that is critical in supporting adoptions of technologies to increase efficiency, effectiveness, productivity, and promote access to markets.
Resolution related to number 14, of which UNDP and other development partners, including national governments, we have the due mandate to ensure life underwater is properly managed, but also it provides source of shared prosperities to our people.
The World Bank has appointed a Tanzanian, Dr. Zorao Wendelin Kibwe, to be the new executive director of the bank in charge of Africa's Group 1 region, which include 22 countries, including Tanzania, a position that Tanzania served 54 years ago. Dr. Kibwe receives the appointment after it was announced at the annual World Bank meeting in Washington, D.C., United States, where the annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank is being held. Speaking after being announced to take the position, Dr. Kibwe says that she will use the position to manage operations of the bank and its institutions, as well as defending the interests of Tanzania and the region in the board of directors of the World Bank to promote the development of the economy of the African countries. All the best to Dr. Kibwe. Enhancing the positive impacts of labor migration, the International Labour Organization ILO, under the Better Regional Migration Management, has finalized its 5-day training on strengthening labor migration statistics for the East and Horn of African countries. Here are more details.
Speaking to TBC News, Senior Statistician of National Bureau of Statistics Hashim Joele says the training came at the opportune time where Tanzania is preparing to produce a report on international labor migration, and essential skills will enhance their performance at work.
As a country, we're about to produce a report on international labor migration, and that process will start next year. So using the knowledge that we have gained from this training, I think we're going to produce a very good report that will help the government and other stakeholders when it comes to management and the production of international labor migration statistics.
As the Prime Minister's office, we are responsible for developing the labor market information system, and we are now on the final stage of it for prioritization. So through this training, I've gained some valuable inputs and suggestions which will help in modifying and improving our system because they have the model of the labor market information system which we were taught, and there are some indicators which they elaborate that system should capture it. So one of the indicators that the migrant workers.
Antonio Bonyo, statistician from Kenya, National Bureau of Statistics, adds that labor migration is the aspect of demographic change, and improving data collection regarding labor migration statistics will facilitate for better plans and policies for Africa development.
And there's always the constant exchange of people moving from one area to other, seeking for employment. So we need to get statistics to inform policy decisions and policy frameworks that will enable the country and the government of Kenya, as well as other regional organizations, to better manage migration within these East African countries.
Project managers from public and private institutions have been urged to continue to develop their skills and creativity so that the projects implemented are in line with the value expected and are completed on time. Here are more details.
The call has been made during a project management seminar where Director of PMI Project Management Institute, Herin Biro, says the project management in Africa has been more promising if more people responsible for projects continue to gain relevant and necessary skills.
We are trying to change the strategies of the country in order to implement policies for project management, because we believe in the country, most of the time they focus in monitoring and evaluation, but they forgot the entire life cycle of project management. So we try to bring the change on that so they can put this as a skill, is as an important skill in every aspect, especially in education system in Tanzania.
Kwa hiyo sasa hii ni nafasi yetu sasa sisi kuchangamkia hii fursa ili tuwe na wataalamu wa kutosha.
This is our chance to take advantage of this opportunity so that we can have enough professionals, so these professionals can increase productivity in projects.
Participants of the seminar point out the economic muscle in need in project operations that eventually will help to improve the lives of Tanzanians.
Like Vision 2025 here in Tanzania, whether it's the African Union Agenda 2063, whether it's the African Development Bank High Fives, all these country level and regional level initiatives specifically rely on projects for them to succeed.
There's a lot to be done. As Africans, we need to do a lot in terms of knowing how to manage our projects, but also we have managed to understand that there's no development if the projects are not managed well. As you can see, we have made strides in the country in terms of leaping towards development of our country, but also we have seen, for example, the development in the transportation system, whereby now we have standard gauge railway that transports goods and people from Dodoma to Dar es Salaam.
In case you missed any one of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel, TVC Online, and watch anytime, anywhere. Now, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. And now it's time for the international news as compiled and read by Lulua Muhammad.
The International Monetary Fund African Department said while economic outlook for sub-Saharan Africa is gradually improving, implementing reforms is increasingly difficult because of the challenges faced. In its latest regional economic outlook for the region published on Friday, it said high rates of poverty, lack of opportunities and jobs, and weak governance all need to be addressed through policy if development is to be achieved. Average growth this year will remain substitute at 3.6%, but will improve modestly in 2025 to 4.2%. However, inflation remains double digits in nearly one-third of the countries. Debt service capacity is low, and rising debt service burdens are eating into the resources available for development spending. Foreign exchange reserve buffers are insufficient in many countries. Deputy Director of African Department, Catherine Patillo, said regional policymakers currently face a difficult balancing act. At least 5 people were killed and 22 others injured in terrorist attacks.
Well, that was international news as compiled by Lulua Muhammad and read to you by Antonia Kivaria. Stay tuned now for all the latest in sports. In sports news, the Bagamoyo International Arts and Culture Festival and the Royal Tour Film have immensely contributed to the increasing of domestic and foreign tourists from 18,000 to 36,000 since 2022, benefiting the residents of Bagamoyo and the coast region. The remarks have been made by the tourism officer from the Tanzania Forestry Services Agency, TFS, in the Bagamoyo district of Fikiri Maiba during the ongoing Bagamoyo Festival of Arts and Culture.
Kwa sababu ya viingilio vinachajiwa pale.
Because the interest fees are charged when the guests come. For example, the Germans are the first tourists to visit in large numbers. They visit because of the history, as I explained it. There are the graves here. They can come to do the pilgrimage. But the right the festivals and the loyal tour films has been catalysts for the increase of the tourists, both locals and foreigners, especially school institutions. They've been able to gain awareness to a large extent, and they contributed to a large extent. That is why tourists have increased from 18,000 to 36,000 from the year of 2022.
Simba is back in the winning ways after humiliating Namungo FC by 3-0 in the thrilling encounter as they revive the hopes to fight for the Tanzania Premier League title in the match that was played at KMC Complex Mwenge in Dar es Salaam. Simba Sports Club head coach Fadlu Davids believes opting for other players has paid off, hoping that they will continue their winning ways.
You know, we're rotating the squad, we're creating depth in the squad. In the first phase, in our first 5-6 games, it was about getting the structure, getting the organization of the team. And now different players playing creates more depth and creates more competition in the team, that everybody understands the principles now. Now it's about competition, not always the best player on the pitch, but the best team on the pitch.
That's the sports news. Time now for the weather forecast.
Dear viewer, once again, this is 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Wind flow patterns, average wind speed expected over the most part of our country, while the reduction of rainfall signal over the most part of our country compared to a few days ago. For tonight, we expect future particle conditions, thunderstorm over Fury over the Lake Victoria Basin together with Kigoma region. The rest part of our country expect future particle condition. For tomorrow, we expect future particle condition, thunder shower over Fury in San Pedro over the Lake Victoria Basin together with Kigoma and the Katavi region. While Tanga, Unguja and Pembaisa together with Dar es Salaam and Pwani expect future particle condition, light rain shower over Fury in San Pedro. The rest part of our country expect future particle condition and long sun periods. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country, starting from the day after tomorrow. For Dar es Salaam, 27th, expect future rain shower. 28th, expect future light rain shower. Dodoma regions, 29th, expect future rain shower, while the rest expect future particle condition. Mbeya, 29th, expect future rain shower, while the rest expect future particle condition. And Mwanza, the whole day expect future particle condition, thunder shower over Fury and sun periods. Kilimanjaro expect future particle condition and long sun periods. For Morogoro, expect future particle condition, while the lowest minimum temperature expect to be 20 degrees Celsius. Arusha, the minimum temperature expect to be 17 degrees Celsius. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good night.
And on that note, marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasser King. We wish you a good night and a constructive weekend.